Okay folks, so got the opportunity to come down again to the mouth and see what's going on the low tide and what changes have been made. I've been so busy with the Easter weekend and all sorts of other things, and unable to come and do a report on the mouth. So you can see here the water's flowing out, the low tide, and I quickly stopped again to show you guys the fiddler crabs. And thank you to Philip van Wyk. And I think you remember the last video I did, I said I didn't know what they were, what the name was, whether it's a new species or what, and he has confirmed to me that they are fiddler crabs, and also a nice crab to see the return of now that the lake system's kind of normalizing. And I say kind of because it isn't perfect yet, but it's getting back to its ways with the more salt water coming in. Okay, so I'm able to come down to the mouth this morning. Been so busy with other things, haven't had the opportunity to do an actual mouth update, but just something interesting. So this is the pathway that we used to use, and I've discussed this bank before. You see how it passed through here, and then where the people are walking up, it goes over there in the old days. But with all the northeasterly wind blowing, it's grown considerably across to that side. I quickly jumped off the bike and I'm going to walk up here, up the dune, and just kind of measure roughly, and excuse the wind, how far it's probably grown. Again, it's just a rough idea, folks. So basically, when you look back, you can see my footprints in the pathway, and there's my bike down there. So let's go. Twenty-three, 24, 25 yards. So yeah, incredible. And we always talk about these amazing dunes in St. Lucia that are changing all the time. And as the wind blows, even with the vegetation, if you go up north of Cape Vidal, there's spots there that you can go and you see how that sand is shifting and it closes up all the trees behind it. Yeah, amazing once again how nature just does its own thing. So got a wind direct east into my face here. As you can see, here's a mouth, and this water is not flowing very strong. And if I scan around to the south there, it looks like there's another mouth down there. So I'll cut across there now and go and have a look. So very, very interesting to see this. And you can see the drop off, and that bank is still being eaten away big time. And there's the new marker at the top there. So this bank is being eaten away, if I can use that term. You can see on the high tide the water is washing up over the top. You look at all the debris that's been washed along the back here. So I'm going to go across and see what it looks like on the other side there. Yeah, like I said in many of my previous videos, it's so nice not to come down every day and have a look, and then when you come down after a few days, things change drastically. And once again, you can see how this dune has been eroded away. New marker up there. You can see how long it takes before the water gets to that one. And then this is the old one. Lots of changes here. And it looks like been some markers put in the water here. And this one I've used before. This is the little one, the shorter one. And I've said I wonder how it'll change. Alright, so that one I've seen before. But these ones must have been, it's quite possible that they were under the dune. And now that sand has been removed, so they become exposed. And it'll be interesting to see. I'm going to try and come down in the high tide, just hopefully the weather helps me out and allows me to come down. And we'll see what these guys look like on a high tide. but I think that little one there will be missing, but these ones here might be sticking out the top. But we'll come and have a look, and then you can see how on the high tide the seawater pushing in over the back there. It's so good to see. Yeah, this is really interesting. And look here how these reeds have been absolutely flattened by the surf. And this is what we need, guys. We need this mouth to be wide as possible to allow as much salt water in as possible. I'll see if I can't get around to the point there. See what it looks like around the back. As I ride slowly through here, you can see all the beach sand being washed into here. This is so good to see, man. It makes me excited. Yo. So these are all these reeds here. And if I zoom across there, so where the color line is, just behind the lighter colored reeds, that's where the lake system is. You can see how much reed is here. Still plenty of it. And it's really thick. Yeah, so I'm really glad I came down on the low tide, because obviously I can't get here on the high tide because the water will be running across the top here. And here's the other mouth that we talked about. Whew, nice. And you can see obviously the flow here is a lot stronger. And so my prediction is going to be that the first one, inverted commas, the one at the bottom there, that will close. And the mouth will then be opened up here. But you can see the water coming through. We've had a lot of rain over the past 24 hours, if I can remember correctly, 42 mils. So all of this water is still coming out this system from the Umfolozi as well as the lake system. And so long as this bank stays flat like this is the key. Is this bank in front of me here, the eastern bank, if we can call it that, stays low like this salt water and the seawater is going to come flying over the top, and this will all be gushing into the system. It's exactly what we need. And this big weather system that's coming through for, I think it'll be here Thursday, big seas, 4-meter swells Friday, if that is correct, this place will be a totally different place. After that, Monday, Tuesday, it'll be interesting to see what it looks like after that massive sea, if it comes. Just going back home now, and I just stopped again at the clay banks, and the water's finding it difficult to get rid of this, but we all know that. And you can see all the little bits of clay lying all over the beach here, which also indicates that it is being broken up. But obviously not as fast as everybody would like it to. But it is what it is, and we can't change that. But the flow of the river and the fresh water here is extremely strong. You can see eating away at that bank as well. At these poles again, it almost looks like it's an old jetty, just the way they're positioned. But yeah, I'll never know. So also something that's really noticeable is the water on my left was a lot further into the ocean. In other words, there was a lot more sand down there, and if I zoom across to that little sandbank at the back there, basically that's where the water used to be, and you'd have this long walk from there up to the main dune here. And now you can see this gap is significantly smaller, and again, if you look at the little white log here, well, you can see where the water line actually comes on the high tide, and it's really close. A lot of debris also really close to this dune. grey-headed gull just using the wind just to hover here right next to me. So like promised, I've come down on the high tide and you can see lots of guys fishing, and you can understand why the water looks tremendous. What I don't like is this easterly wind. I call it the poison wind. Not too much fish caught, in my opinion, this wind when it's blowing like this. But right up here by the marker, and if I just scan around, from this high point, really interesting to see. There's a ski boat club there, this big banker reeds here, but the water coming out of the system, it's quite wide, and I like the look of that, I must say. And so I just scan around again, and then we get to there where the pinnacle is. You can see there's still 3 chaps fishing there. I reckon their feet are getting wet as this water washing over the top. And then if you look there where the salt water joins the Amphalosi, you can see it's the color line there, which indicates that the fresh water isn't coming through. In other words, the salt is, the current is strong enough to hold it back. And should I scan around and just come down where these chaps are fishing in front of me here, those 3 chaps, that there below there, that's where the poles were in the water this morning on the low tide. And you can see the salt water flowing in, and that's the area that I rode in, and I showed you just the beach sand below me. That salt water is excellent going in there. And should this dune that we are now, especially where these 3 chaps are, get eaten away some more by the big winds and this big sea that is predicted later in the week, we're going to get a lot more salt water going into the system. And the key is that that bank, this eastern bank, as I go around, that bank stays level and flat, and then the sea will be able to go over the top. Man, it's interesting. Well folks, hope you enjoyed the video. Until the next one, be safe everybody.